everybody, and welcome back to the Department Podcast. Stephen Clark, Justin Valentovic, and Jesse Norman here to break down and review Payback 2020. But fellas, before we get into the ring, how you doing on this Sunday night right now?
Pretty good. You know, we got a bullet dodged with the hurricane that was supposed to hit us this past weekend.
Yes,
so Saturday
sir.
and Sunday were actually very comfortable.
Very
I
nice.
was able to cut my lawn and my girlfriend's lawn, so, you know, that was
Yeah.
productive. No power went out, so thankfully we're actually able to do this. I'm not in Philadelphia, so we're actually recording it right after the pay-per-view. A lot has changed in a week since SummerSlam, really, but it was actually a good night of wrestling.
Great night of wrestling. Nice weather outside. Jesse, how you doing?
I'm good. I love these under 3 hour pay-per-views. They're good.
Short,
never get rid of this, please.
Yeah, no. Short, sweet, and to the point. That's just how we like to hear it. Because when they're too long, you get tired, you get all agitated, and you just don't feel like watching wrestling anymore. And no one wants us to get that
only
feeling.
above 3 hour pay-per-view should be WrestleMania.
Agree.
And the Rumble, because they have two
Rumble if
matches.
the Rumble's long. Yeah, because they have two now.
Agree. I agree with that one.
Possibly Money in the Bank if they have the two Money in the Bank.
They have the two.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that corporate Money in the Bank thing anymore. That was the one time.
That was a one-off
Allegedly.
Oh, hey, we never know.
Get a corporate Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There's a cell over the whole Titan Towers. A huge cell.
It's like in the Simpsons movie how they drop like the glass dome on
The
them.
dome over Springfield. Yeah. All right. Wow. So let's get into the kickoff show really quickly, just touching on this. Not too much happened on the kickoff show, but it seemed like the Riot Squad were back on the same page. They had matching jackets, matching gear, matching everything, and they got a big win over the former women's tag team champions, the Iconics. So it's good to see more tag teams starting to be built again. I'm really liking having the Riot Squad back. I know Sarah's not in the Riot Squad right now because she got fired, but it's good to still have them around. I really like this.
Boy, they really abandoned Liv Morgan's rebranding of her character
Yeah.
just to go right back real quick.
Where she came, she's supposed to be like a lesbian with Lana, and then...
But not even, but how she just dropped all the colors from her look, you know, the bleach blonde hair, the all-black attire. Now it's just back to, you know, the colorful makeup, the colorful hair will probably come back, the blue tongue will probably be back soon. Now she has, like, the punk leather jacket with, like, the spikes and everything on it. Yeah. So they just abandoned that new gimmick and just reverted back to classic Liv.
Yeah. I always kind of figured they were going to do that. The rebranding was... Yeah.
They had no idea.
We had expectations because we thought they kind of cared about her. But, seems like they do.
Nope. But that's fine. At least she's getting used on television somehow, some way, not just eating, catering, and all that nonsense. She got a win. Ruby Riott got a win. Like I said, seems like they're back. Good for them. No more to be said on that. Show opens now. Payback 2020. We have the United States Championship match. Apollo Crews defending his title against the almighty Bobby Lashley, accompanied by the Hurt. How do we say Hurt? It's Hurt Business, right? I always say Hurt Squad. It's Hurt Business.
It's Hurt Business.
It's definitely Hurt Business.
It's Hurt Business. It's Hurt Business. But we have a new champ. We have a new United States champion. Like I said on the last show, this is the start of the gold rush for the Hurt Business.
There's no gold rush.
There's going to be a gold rush.
So what do you think next? Is it tag belts?
Tag belts are next.
Oh, congrats. Yeah. Okay, you have all the mid-card belts. That doesn't matter.
Then MVP's going to beat Drew at like Survivor Series or something.
No, shut up.
Chance.
Go away.
No, that won't happen. But
there's about a negative 3,000% chance that'll happen.
But they will get the tag titles, I feel, eventually. And it's like a little like mid-card, all the belts, you know. They're the top mid-carders, which is cool. It's right where they belong, these guys. Like MVP and Ben, they're all old, honestly, for being honest. Like they're all veterans of the ring, and it's cool to see them all having a shot to like do like one last hurrah as a group together. So I'm all for this.
It's amazing how this feud still isn't over, because now it's far from over.
There's a lot of feuds that are continuing that have been going on for too long on this show. Like enough's enough.
It seems like you would think Payback would be kind of like the blow-off show of where, you know, old feuds would end, new ones would keep up. But it's like Matt Riddle got extended. Apollo Crews got extended. You know, the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and the Fiend is going to keep going.
Rey, Dominik, Seth.
Yeah, like that's going to keep going.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they're all gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I get that they were a week apart, but a lot of these feuds have now had multiple pay-per-view matches. They don't need more. Like I love Dominik and Rey and Seth, and I thought they had have had good matches. It's over. Stop doing it.
Enough's enough.
Stop doing it.
You have to know when to cut it off. Like, we get you want to tell a story. We get this and get that, but you have to know when to cut off a story when the time is right. And for a lot of stories, it seemed like tonight was the right night to do it, but didn't go that way altogether. Nope. A couple of just singles matches back-to-back right here. Not both of them of, no relevancy, honestly. But Big E won against Sheamus. It was a good match. I expected better from this. I thought this was going to be like match of the night almost just because of what Sheamus can do when he has time in the ring. We saw that against Jeff Hardy at Backlash. But it was good. I'm glad Big E got the win.
I mean, it's safe to assume at this point, though, whoever Big E is taking on in either Raw or even a pay-per-view at this point, he's gonna win because they do, like they said, he wants to build his resume as a singles wrestler. So
yeah,
it's gonna be par for the course at this point, where whoever he goes in against, odds are he's gonna win.
Yeah, they're building him up little by little. I hope it's not just more than another intercontinental reign, though. I really hope they pull the trigger, and even if it's a year and a half from now, I hope they eventually pull the trigger on Big E. Just because.
How long is Kofi out for?
Didn't he blow his? They said ankle, right?
They said ankle. I'm pretty sure on the show. I'm pretty
sure. Yeah, so we don't really know what it is.
But honestly,
Woods might be done.
And Woods might be done.
Really?
Period. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Well, I mean, as Achilles, it's been a long time.
Achilles is always a question mark, no matter what type. Even if it's if he's lucky to come back in a few months or even a few years, honestly, Achilles is always we know that from watching sports too, always a hard injury to come back from, but that's fine. If them two are hurt and say Kofi can come back, I would keep Kofi off of TV a little bit. Let Big E
let it ride.
Yeah, let Big E get the
or have Kofi come back and just manage him.
That too.
Dude, that's fine.
Woods come back and just be the straight up manager.
The what?
If Woods is done, at that point, he could come back and just be the manager.
Just be the manager and have them be the tag team / single stars too. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Woods is great, but if he has to, that's fine too. But that's it. Big E got the win there. Next singles match back to back, we had Matt Riddle defeat King Corbin. I really liked this match. This match was really good. I thought Corbin made Riddle look good and Riddle made Corbin look good. They complement each other really well, I thought. And yeah, where do we go from here though? That's the question.
I thought the match was I thought it was okay. I think
it was good.
I think a Corbin match is a Corbin match. He beats the guy up for a really long time, and then eventually the guy does a comeback and Corbin loses. That's pretty much every Corbin match that's ever been, ever. But I thought it was good, and now they're continuing it.
That's the problem. You have a star like Matt Riddle. You don't need to keep him.
They should just give him
Corbin.
They already teased Riddle with AJ on his debut, and then they just fully diverted it to Corbin.
Give him a blow off street fight match on SmackDown or whatever, just to kind of end it. But at that point, it should have been done here. But you saw Riddle get thrown through the table at the end of the match when they were leaving. So obviously they'll probably set up some sort of stipulation to blow it off. But at that point, what's the point?
As long as it's just on a SmackDown and no more pay-per-view matches, because those two last matches, Big E and Sheamus and Riddle and Corbin, did not have to be on this card. They are perfect main event matches for SmackDown. Not even, honestly. They're very mid-card SmackDown matches, 9 o'clock matches. It wasn't needed to be on an actual pay-per-view, if you're asking me. But I want to rewind a little bit and go back to the Bobby Lashley and Apollo stuff really quickly. Okay. There's been rumors going not crazy, but there's been some rumors that Cedric Alexander, he's iffy about joining the hurt business and all that. And do you think we see Cedric Alexander join up with them on Raw?
No. They don't care enough about Cedric to turn him heel, so he's just going to stay happy-go-lucky Cedric and lose every match still.
I mean, if they wanted to add a fourth, so that way then they could pair someone with MVP if they did want to put the SmackDown, the Raw tag team titles on them.
Yeah.
You know, they would have a fourth person rather than doubling up, say, Shelton with MVP or Lashley with MVP. So that way they could have 4 individual people with belts. You know, they could add somebody. And maybe, you know, they try to take him under his wing and he buys into that type of thing.
If they add somebody, I don't think it would be Cedric, though.
Who would you put then? Because Cedric's the one that's
It should have been Apollo then at that point.
It should have been honestly, it should have been Apollo.
I feel like Apollo's more happy-go-lucky than Cedric, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but Apollo also is like somebody that they care about.
True.
And Cedric hasn't. I just don't think like the Hurt Business would go after Cedric since they're so like all about physique and everything like that. Like, look at Lashley, look at Benjamin. Apollo fits that much better, I think, than Cedric does.
I think you actually might be right. Like, thinking it over now. Say you run Lashley and Cedric tomorrow night. You can't beat them, join them. Have Cruz then join in on the beatdown on Cedric, and then there you go. I like that, actually.
To be honest, I think they're just going to keep running this. Maybe Cedric gets involved, but it's just consistently 3-on-2.
It's enough.
I think they're just gonna run it until like Clash of Champions.
Do like a 6-man tag with like
Ricochet, Cedric. Yeah, they pull Ricochet in.
Yep.
That could be it.
That's probably what that.
I don't think this is gonna end, but like this has just been such a vortex on the United States Championship that it's like hurt the belt. Because it hasn't done anything but Hurt Business and Apollo for what feels like just months on months. And it hasn't even been that long.
Getting a little political for a second. Do you think Vince McMahon is keeping the United States Championship on a black man because of everything that's going on? He wants to show what America is represented by?
No. I don't think. No,
I don't think Vince is as aware. Of what's going on. Honestly.
And if Vince was aware, I don't know his beliefs on that. Considering he's a hardcore Trumpy.
Yes, he is. The whole family.
His wife works on Trump's re-election campaign.
That's insane. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so I really don't think that's it.
No.
He's definitely not that progressive or smart.
No. But, okay, there we go. Shut that down really quick. Perfect. All right. Let's get into these last 3 matches of the night. This is where we can, like, the first couple of matches, there wasn't much to talk about on. This is where we break down these last 3 matches because these 3 matches were honestly the top 3 matches of the night. Probably, I don't know about in the order that they happened from 3 to 1, but very, very, very good altogether. Let's start with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. We had Sasha Banks and Bayley defending their titles that they had for a little while now.
Aren't there 4 matches left?
I hear crickets.
Literally, that's not even us editing in. Whose crickets are those?
Are they mine?
I don't know.
Hold on.
They might be mine.
Whatever.
Okay, there's crickets. What match am I missing?
You have the women's tag belts, Keith Lee and Randy Orton.
Keith Lee, only 4, even better. 4 matches we can talk about.
The big 4, the core 4.
The big 4, SummerSlam, whatever. Payback, pay-per-views. Keith Lee, I'm writing that in the rundown right now because I forgot that. That is my fault, but was that one first? I don't remember.
It goes women's tag, Keith Lee, the Mysterios, and then
main event. Okay, so women's tag, like I said, Bayley and Sasha defending their titles against Nia, Jax, and Shayna Baszler. And in one of the most creative finishes I've seen in a long time, we have new tag team champions in Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Woo! That was a hard pill to swallow, but it had to be done because it looks like they're going forward with this Bayley and Sasha feud for the SmackDown.
So do you think we have a SmackDown women's title match then between Bayley and Banks at Night of Champions?
I say there's like a number 1 contenders battle royal again or something, or some gauntlet match, and Sasha wins, and then something like that.
So
but
I want to go back to the ending, though.
yes.
Shayna basically using Sasha Banks to choke out Bayley.
Yes. Yeah, she had 2 submissions on first at once. Then she uses Sasha's arm to wrap around Bayley's throat to basically choke her out and force her to submit. Ooh, I really like that. I really like creative finishes and creative finishes that build into the story as well, such as them costing each other the match, just like what has been happening over the last week or so. So very creative. So like you said, Justin, do you think honestly that we're gonna have that at Clash of Champions?
I think eventually, I think this is where they're going with it, because now you have a full month to build that up, and basically you could say how she could almost Bayley could throw it in Sasha's face that she was used as their downfall for her arm being used to choke out Bayley.
Yeah,
so
they can blame each other kind of
because they were both involved in the finish in a certain way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's your money match down the line. They've been teasing this for years upon years, and
that's why it's down the line. Do you do this at Clash of Champions? I mean, they did Roman, Dean, Seth at Battlegrounds.
Now they
never
might
did it again.
Now they might run the tag match for the belts back at Night of Champions, and if they come up short, then that can push you. That can push you to, Hell in a Cell /
I was just about to say
Survivor Series. Then
Hell in a Cell main event inside the cell. Sasha Bayley for the title. There you go.
Do you put Sasha in another Hell in a Cell?
Yes, because
she's gonna get hurt.
We know what she can do inside the cell.
But she's gonna get hurt.
Well,
she's gonna get hurt.
She's 40 pounds. That's why
she survived this match against Nia Jax, so I think she can deal with a cell match.
Well, she already got hurt in a cell last year.
Yeah,
and that was against Becky, who was a million times safer than Nia.
Can we just have Baszler carry both belts, and can we just get Nia just released?
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah, also, Nia's not safe.
Earlier in the night, they were doing a really cringy promo together, and Nia Jax was wearing Tamina's merchandise.
Do you know who's meaner than Tamina?
Why?
Who's meaner than Tamina?
Nobody.
She wanted to embrace it.
Nia Jax didn't even have her own merch.
She probably doesn't even have her own merch.
Tamina's.
She probably doesn't even have her own merch, if we're being honest. But she wanted to embrace the meanness of Tamina, which willed her to winning the tag team titles. You can't be meaner than Tamina. Why not wear the shirt and try?
I hope they don't keep this team together, because there's just absolutely no chemistry between the two.
It's going to go to the Iconics or Riot Squad, probably.
There's no reason Baszler should be in it. This was great. This made her look awesome.
Yeah, finally.
But Nia Jax has 3 different t-shirts.
Finally. Exactly.
She has 3 different T-shirts?
She has 3 different T-shirts, and she couldn't wear one of her own.
No,
she wore no one meaner than Tamina.
Representing her family.
One just says an irresistible force, and then I'm not like most, and that's it. And then there's one with just her face on it.
Oh, I wouldn't wear that one, I'll tell you that.
Not for $29.
Jeez.
Well, tonight it's buy one, get one free.
Yeah, that is true.
Buy one, get one for $1.
I'll get one new Roman shirt, maybe.
None of her shirts qualify for that offer.
Wow.
Heartbreaking.
Thank God she got rid of the dyed hair extensions, wherever, because she just looked cartoonish with those.
Nia?
Yeah, the bright blue and the bright purple hair.
Yeah, but they did well during the match. Anyways, on a positive note, Shayna looked like a monster. Nia looked fine. Like you said, before the promo they had was horrible, and the promo they did in the ring was horrible as well.
It was bad.
They should just stay off the mic and just beat people up.
Shayna started to say something, and then Nia interrupted her 3 times, yelling, and then Shayna just said, "Let's go celebrate."
It was a mess.
It's almost like they either forgot their lines or just threw her off. Can they just give Shayna a mouthpiece or a manager, because she struggles on the mic still.
Paul Heyman, why not?
Well, he's a little preoccupied right now.
A little bit, but no.
I don't think they hold the belts that long, though.
That's fine. I think, like I said, the Iconics or the Riot Squad are going to get them pretty soon, I think, because they're building up those 2 teams on Raw. There's not many other teams that I can think of, literally, in the whole company.
I hope so.
But they need to build more teams now because like they're losing their top team, their top 2 wrestlers in the company. So
you know what I was just thinking about? You know how we were like, oh, you got to split Bayley and Sasha up. This is the time now. If they wait like 2 months and just kept the Raw title on Banks and the SmackDown title on Bayley, they could have just had them feud at Survivor Series.
Yeah, but aren't they still going to do brand versus brand at Survivor Series?
Exactly.
Probably.
The Raw champion versus the SmackDown champion versus maybe NXT. You have NXT, like, Bayley and Sasha are working against the NXT champion. But then, Bayley tries to roll up Sasha and is like, well, obviously I'm still trying to win.
Yeah, so by default, they were supposed to go against each other then.
Exactly.
Yep. That would have been better.
That would have been a lot better.
Sorry. That would have been better.
Booking.
Yeah.
It would have made they're the best thing on TV every week for like the past 3 months. That extends it for at least 2 months. And then if you do it at Survivor Series, you can have their blow-off match at, I don't even know.
Rumble.
Something. I was going to say, like, do it before Rumble, then have one of them, like, drop the belt, and then you just have them win the Rumble.
Yeah.
Since they've been so good this whole year, one of them should win the Women's Rumble.
Yeah, they should.
There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah.
It'll probably be Charlotte, though.
Charlotte. The queen of them all, Charlotte Flair. I wonder how she's doing right now.
She said she's not missing next WrestleMania.
That's good. You need the queen at WrestleMania.
She'll be back by Rumble.
Yeah, she'll probably return number 30 in the Rumble, if we're being honest.
And she's going to win.
She's going to win.
She'll become the first ever 2-time women Royal Rumble winner.
There's not even many men that have done that before.
Exactly. That's why Charlotte's got to do it.
Oh, I love it.
And then she'll win the next year.
And does she have to win women's Money in the Bank still?
Yes.
She'll get that done.
She has not.
Oh, she'll wrap that up soon, too. Yeah, that's another chance to put the belt on her right away. Then.
Well, Asuka's the only one who has done everything.
Yeah.
So that's still a cool accomplishment to have over
Has
Charlotte.
she won a women's elimination chamber or a women's Hell in a Cell match?
No.
Yeah, no. Then who cares?
Okay.
Who cares, but.
Sorry. But, yeah.
Then she didn't do everything.
No, not everything yet. But, yeah, I don't know how we got there, but women's tag, cool, new champions. That's awesome. Let's go to the match I sadly forgot. Keith Lee versus Randy Orton, because this one, well, let's start from the beginning. Very beginning. Keith Lee had some really cool, like, jacket on and some, like, nice fluffy pants on at first. It was nice.
It was like a wolf, like as if it was like an animal pelt or something.
Yeah, it was nice.
But even before that, what the hell was that interaction with JBL?
Well, I saw on the bump like a few weeks ago, JBL was giving him like big compliments and stuff, saying he's the future and all that. And there was a bump on this morning. Then Keith Lee was like, "Oh, thank you to JBL for complimenting me." Blah blah blah.
So that was just a nod to that, basically.
Yeah, basically, I guess. And
I was confused because where did he come from? Like, I don't know.
And it's probably going to lead to Orton punting JBL on Raw or something.
Probably
another one on the list. Just
it's just like, but if Orton punts JBL, like, who cares? JBL's still like not a good guy. He's like, here's a hedge fund. I'll let you in for $1 million.
Yeah, it's like that can't go wrong.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Millionaire? Who cares? Like, why would I care if Orton punts you in the head?
No, like, yay, we're
cheering.
I
hope he does.
I hope he does, right? But Keith Lee, same theme song. I thought that would be fixed, but it wasn't.
No, it won't.
It won't. But like I said, I'm okay with the shirt, but thank God the skirt is gone.
The battle skirt?
Yeah. It's gone. Like,
he's back to his normal trunks,
He's back to his normal biker shorts that he's been wearing since I've seen him start wrestling in NXT. So I think they're a little longer, honestly, but that's even better if they're a little longer. Fine.
I don't even mind the athletic shirt, honestly.
The shirt's fine. It covers up all of his lovable fluffiness, like I said.
Yeah.
His lovable fluffiness. I guess Vince just didn't want that on television, but it's fine. I like the shirt. I like the combo, the shirt, all like the compression gear he has on.
Yeah.
That's fine. So this is the match. It was a short match, and it was a surprising match. Like Jesse and I were talking about how Drew McIntyre was somehow going to get involved in this match. He didn't.
Nowhere to be seen.
Keith Lee won with the Spirit Bomb. Clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, pinned Randy Orton. Randy Orton was selling pretty good for Keith Lee too. You can tell when Randy sells really well that he cares about this guy, or he was told by higher ups, hey, this is the guy. So I think they really like Keith Lee a lot, and they're going to run with this guy for a long time, and I'm very happy to hear that.
And I think
Orton sold a lot for him.
Yeah.
Being literally rolled all the way to the ground outside.
The table bump, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took it all.
Well.
So they're definitely big on Lee right now, which is good. No.
And the fact that he won his first pay-per-view match clean. Nothing else.
Against a main eventer.
13, 14, whatever time world champion Orton is.
14 time, I think they said.
And especially, not just
13.
13.
Because not even that, it's just Randy Orton, randomly. It's Randy Orton who's literally in the WWE title feud.
At almost the best of his career right now.
I would say the best. It's at least my favorite Orton that I think I've ever,
It's my favorite. The last time I cared about Orton this much was 2007, 2008, 9 Orton.
Legacy era.
Legacy, punting Vince McMahon, punting Stephanie, kissing Stephanie. That Orton was the last time I cared about him this much. So he's at the top of his game, and they just have him lose to Keith Lee clean. That has to tell you something. It has to tell these internet fans, they're like, oh, he's rude, Keith Lee, oh, back to being a jobber. It has to tell those fans, to shut up, we're going all in on Keith Lee.
Well, it's almost like the middle finger to the internet fans about the music and the gear. It's who cares what the presentation is? You're still getting the results you wanted to, and it's actually a lot better than you actually thought he was going to get.
There you go. And speaking of internet fans and stuff, there was an AEW logo in one of the Thunderdome things. 30 seconds later, out of here. I saw that disappear.
They definitely got the moderators working for that.
Yeah. But I'm very happy to see Keith Lee do that. Go ahead.
Now, my thing with Keith Lee is I hope it's not just a momentum thing, get him his first win, and, back to the dungeon you go. I hope they somehow work this into the feud where down the line he feuds with either Orton or McIntyre, depending on who walks out of probably Night of Champions, Clash of Champions now. I'm going to call it Night of Champions every single time. Ignore me. Whoever walks out of there, the champion, hopefully Keith Lee then goes after one of them.
I want to see McIntyre versus Keith Lee at the Clash of Champions, but Orton cost Lee the match because he wants to beat Drew for that title still. That's, I think, the best way to go.
Then if that's the case, that should almost then set up naturally a Hell in a Cell
triple threat. Perfect. I wouldn't mind Keith Lee taking the pin in that match then and have Orton win. I would not mind that at all. In a main event triple threat match for the WWE title inside Hell in a Cell, he just got called up a month or two ago by now while we're in October. I would not mind him losing that match at all. That'd be fun, though.
Will it happen then? Probably not.
Probably not.
I think they might just run the triple threat at Clash of Champions.
Oh, you think just they'll run it right away?
They might. I'm not positive.
Who would you pick to win that, Orton or McIntyre?
I personally would want Orton to win.
I'd almost go with Keith Lee then.
What?
I would say since they almost just shortchanged his NXT run.
Yeah.
What a way to strap a rocket to him then.
Yeah, have him win the title.
Give him the title right away. Yeah, but this match really reminded me of a lot of Kevin Owens versus John Cena. He won clean too, Kevin Owens, and it was against the top guy that is still in the company, the old veteran that's still in the company. It literally reminded me of that. It was on a B pay-per-view type. It wasn't like a big four. It was Elimination Chamber that happened on. But I just hope he has a better career than Owens because we know what happened to Owens as it goes down the line.
Owens for a while had a great 2 to 3 year stretch, and then really since a year ago, it's just been
ever since he got ever since he lost the title almost.
When did they feed him to Goldberg?
That was February 2017.
Yeah, then.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, I agree. then. I agree 100%. Then. That's when it went down.
Him and Jericho thing lost all its steam, too, at that point.
Yeah, because that's when Jericho basically cost him the match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they ended up going for the United States title, even though it definitively was a good enough feud. It should have been the Universal.
Goldberg and Brock did not need that title for their match at WrestleMania. Nope.
Absolutely not.
It should have been Kevin Owens versus Jericho for the title at Mania 33, and Jericho should have beat Owens, plain and simple. I think that would have been your best bet. Huh. All right. That does it for this little bit. We'll be back in like a couple seconds or so, the usual. We're going to break down the last 2 matches, so stay tuned. All right, we're back after that little break, and we're getting into some more tag team action. We have the father-son duo of Rey and Dominik Mysterio versus Monday Night Messiah Seth Rollins and his disciple Murphy in, honestly, match of the night. Dominik is insanely good, and Rey is still good, and Seth is good, and Murphy's good, and they all gel together really well. Great story involved here, and Rey and Dominik get the win. Dominik's first official win in WWE, so that's big. But this is my match of the night. I really enjoyed this. What did you guys think?
Well, with the ending with Murphy kicking Seth in the head, and obviously him Seth kind of just leaving him by the ringside, it's clear that they're gonna dump Murphy from Seth for a little bit. Maybe Seth will look for new disciples then.
Put Murphy back to NXT. Honestly.
Yep.
That'd be cool. Put him in the cruiserweight division there again in NXT, or just the North American division area for NXT, because he's really good and he deserves to be showcased the most that he can. But yeah, there's some tension brewing. Again, more teams starting to split up. Yeah.
I definitely think with then Seth maybe starting to go on his own, this is how they'll start the process of writing him off TV.
We've been predicting him off TV for literally like 3-4 months.
So I read somewhere that their plan is by November, which would put him at either Hell in a Cell or Survivor Series.
Oh, he's getting thrown off the cell. Plain and simple. He's getting
throw it through the ring. We haven't seen that in a while.
Why not both? It's like the tacos commercial.
Why not both?
Yeah, the little Spanish girls the family's arguing.
Porque los dos.
Yeah,
Porque los dos.
Exactly. Like hard taco shells are soft, and the little girl, the genius, is like, why not both? Put them through the cell.
Basically.
So why not put them through the cell and throw them off the cell? I'm fine with both. That's cool. I'm all for that. Who would he face inside Hell in a Cell, though?
Probably Dominik.
And Rey.
Because once again, you would think this would have been the end to the feud, but I don't
think
know.
It is. I don't think it is.
Dominik throws Seth off of Hell in a Cell. That will make my year a lot better than it's been going.
I think that's the only way they get payback, right? That
was supposed to be tonight.
That was supposed to be tonight.
Yeah.
They won kind of on a fluke, but they needed to win because Seth has just beaten them.
Do you think
absolutely everything?
Do you think to finally end this family feud, because that's basically what it is at this point? It's family feud. Seth kind of says, he doesn't need Murphy, and maybe he tries to go at it alone. Then we get a handicap match, and then they kind of just say, "Screw it, he's done at this point."
Yeah, possible, very possible. They take Seth's eye out. That's how he's going to get written off. They take Seth's eye out. I did not think of that until right this second. That's how Seth's getting taken off.
I don't think they're going to take his eye out. Maybe Murphy take his eye out.
I think it would be Dominik, if anything, that takes his eye out.
Yeah, but that'd be so cool if Murphy did it. If he's mad at Murphy and freaking out at him, and Murphy just retaliates.
What's with the eye fetish, man?
Yeah, that's
that'd be fun.
No, it was a really good match, and Dominik still shuts me up week in and week out.
Oh, week after week, show after show. He loves shutting you up.
It was finally seeing him in legitimate gear and just
hood.
Yeah,
no hood.
Yeah, they're refining him now to where he's kind of wearing a Ricochet gimmick type of gear almost.
Yeah, mix of Ricochet, Seth, and Mustafa Ali, all in one.
No, I'm definitely buying into Dom week in by week out now at this point.
Yeah,
Oh, you just calling him Dom like your friends now?
Like,
You literally you were shitting all over this guy before. You were literally like, get him off TV. We're like, he's literally going to be a constant. He is a wrestler.
But speaking of like a little guest wrestler that happened, there was a little thing on Twitter. Pat McAfee looks like he was taking shots at Baron Corbin. I wonder if this,
No. Don't.
Pat McAfee back?
I'll have Pat McAfee back against anybody else. Don't run McAfee Corbin.
I'll take any Pat McAfee.
God, no.
I'll take anything.
McAfee and Riddle versus Corbin and someone else.
Then Shorty G. Perfect.
My lord.
Corbin and Shorty G together. Imagine
McAfee's gonna get a match with Corbin then.
He was like taking shots. He was like laughing at his entrance or something. I just saw it on Twitter on our little break. But there might be something there. You never know. That'd be the quickest call up in NXT history. Oh my god.
Especially after a loss.
A loss and then right up to the main roster. I'd love to see Pat back. But Rey and Dominik, like you said, very good match. Match of the night, in my opinion. But now we get to the main event. Whew, this is a lot to take in, this main event. A lot of stuff happened. But we start off, FIend makes his entrance, and then he gets attacked by Braun Strowman. And bell rings right away.
Immediately.
So something was up. The contract wasn't signed yet, obviously.
They didn't say that.
They did say during the night that Roman is yet to sign the contract.
And then the match started.
Well,
for 5 minutes, they did not mention Roman until Graves said, oh, like, where's Reigns? And then Michael Cole goes, well, isn't that the big question? I was like, oh, that's the big question? You haven't talked about it in 5 minutes.
I mean, it's kind of common sense that he didn't sign the contract if he's not out there.
But why would you not even mention it? Like, the bell rang. You don't even mention it for 5 minutes.
In kayfabe form, he did not sign the contract. Therefore, he is not in the match.
Okay.
In kayfabe form.
Understood, agreed.
Yeah.
Why did the announcers wait 5 minutes and then be like, well, that is the really big question?
If we're being
That's
honest,
what's hovering over this whole
If we're being
show.
honest, Vince probably forgot and then just said in their ear, oh, yeah, mention Roman really quick.
Mention Roman.
But
well, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
If they don't explain on Friday night what the terms of the contract was, what Roman wanted changed, this past Friday night, then what the hell was the point of him saying, I'm not signing until my conditions are met?
It had to be he didn't want to start in the match right away. He can join at any time. As long as they say that, yeah.
Or they have to, because there's no way that contract is binding, that he can just sign that in the middle of the match and run down. It's not a Money in the Bank contract.
Well, that makes him more of a bastard heel then, honestly, for being honest.
It was a pre-approved contract that he had to sign beforehand.
Well, lawyer Jesse Norman over here.
I would have liked one little vignette that with Pierce like going to Roman's locker room and be like, hey, you got that filled out yet? I would have liked that.
Yeah, but it makes him more of like a bastard heel in a way, just doing whatever he wants, just coming in the ring whenever he wants.
But
coming in the broken ring whenever he wants, put it that way.
The fact that they had him walk out with Heyman and sign it on the ramp, you could literally take Roman out of that and picture Brock, and it's literally a shot for shot what they would have done with one of them.
Yeah, for sure. And I love it.
Because that's the thing.
I'm fine with Roman on the Brock thing.
But that's funny though.
Roman's gonna be there every week.
Well, that's the thing. They can do basically the identical same thing with what they would have done with Brock and what they would have done with Roman. And if it was Brock, we'd be bitching and moaning about it. But now it's Roman. We love it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not that I don't like when Brock is there. I don't like when they put a title on him because he's gone for 3 months.
Yeah, then he dips.
And then it's like, oh, okay, well, what are we – I guess the IC belt is the biggest belt on Raw. Yeah, and it's okay.
Now you have a top heel who is champion with a top manager, and it's a perfect combo.
That's what SmackDown needed because who was their biggest heel now, especially since FIend was kind of, Fiend is more of a character than anything.
Fiend's a character. Strowman, I guess.
Strowman, I guess, is heel now.
Whatever.
But before they turned Strowman, and if you don't count Fiend, their biggest heel was Baron Corbin.
I was gonna say AJ or Corbin.
AJ, if they depending on what like flavor of the week they wanted him to be, basically.
Honestly.
Well, but also AJ's the IC champ.
Yeah, he's in that.
Not anymore, but he's doing that.
Well, yeah, but he's in the IC champ thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get any mention of the IC at all.
Probably SmackDown, if we're being honest.
We haven't. They've literally kept the Intercontinental belt off of
pay-per-view.
Well, you know
what? Like rename it the SmackDown belt at this point.
Honestly though, I'm okay with them doing like their version of like a TV championship, basically.
Yeah.
But like rotate it out a little bit. Like if they want to have title matches on SmackDown, put a tag belt on. Borrow the cruiserweight belt maybe or something.
But why? But then we always get the US belt on the pay-per-views, and they're not even that good of matches, especially since
Hurt Business 24/7, baby.
Business. Yeah,
oh baby. But
the US belt is constantly on in a worse division than the IC belt has. The IC belt has Daniel Bryan, Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, Corbin, Gable, all those guys vying for it. The U.S. is Cruz and Hurt Business.
Yeah.
Why is that constantly on?
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I agree that they wanted to put Big E and Sheamus on the card, but that could have been flip-flopped with an IC title match. Have the IC title match on the main card. Have Big E and Sheamus on SmackDown. Like it would have made a lot more sense.
I would have had Riddle Corbin on SmackDown. I think Big E have the pay-per-view match like to help build him. True. Riddle Corbin easily could have been a good main event.
Either or, honestly. But the IC title should be on the card, but that's besides the point. Back to the main event. So at this point, let's say Roman didn't come out yet. You have Fiend and you have Strowman battling around the ring. It reminded me a lot of their SummerSlam match, honestly, for the most part.
Where have we seen that before?
The table, down the ramp into the stage, all that. But they did go through like a table thing to the side of the stage, so that was new.
I would have liked an explosion since they were by the fireworks.
It should have been an explosion. But then they come back to the ring, and we see Strowman go to the top rope. You don't usually see Braun Strowman go to the top rope. And Bray comes, intercepts Strowman basically, and does a big suplex off the top rope, and down goes the ring.
You know, I'm fine with the ring break, but usually you need two big, beefy, fat guys to break it. They're both
beefy, fat guys,
yeah,
if we're being honest.
But when you look at it, though, Bray is not Mark Henry. Bray is not, but even
they're just built different the way. Like, Braun is, like, taller and, like he's leaner and taller and bigger. But Bray is shorter and fatter.
Add up the combined weights then of all of the ring breaks to see which one was the heaviest.
Oh, this one was definitely the lowest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it almost puts a damper on it a little bit because, yes, Braun is massive, but he's not fat. You know.
All right.
Well, I think the weight, like it still makes sense, but this was definitely the lightest because we have Brock Big Show.
Yeah.
Which was definitely heavier.
Yeah.
Big Show Braun, which was definitely heavier because Big Show's much heavier than Bray. And Mark Henry and who was he? Big Show. Big Show, yeah.
So they're combined 671 pounds. These two together.
Oh, that's definitely the lowest.
Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman.
Big Show is at least like 400, 350.
I'll say Big Show is 4 from the era then, but Brock has stayed about the same-ish. So
he probably got lighter because he dropped all the steroid weight.
So I was
about to say, let's see, when was he in MMA?
I'll bump up Brock to 300 then because he's at 286 here.
Sure.
So that's 700. That's 30 pounds less.
And this was
30 pounds less.
This was definitely the closest between ring break spots that we've gotten.
Oh yeah,
in a while because the SmackDown to the Vengeance one was like 10 years.
10 years.
And then it was 10 years again from Vengeance to the Raw one.
It was less than 10 because Vengeance was 2011.
So 9. 8 years because that happened in 18, 19?
Yeah, but your point still stands correct. Yeah. This is the shortest. Yeah, but it's only a 30-pound difference between the two. So I'm okay with these two breaking the ring. I'm just glad the match didn't stop because the ring broke. Because that's usually the case every single time.
I would have hated if they ended it where, they're both knocked out and then Roman comes out. He's like, well, I'm the last man standing, so give me the belt. And then he effectively did nothing.
That would have been bad. That would have been really bad.
At least he came out and did some offense. I always do enjoy where they keep going with the match because it's just a little bit different.
It's a no holds barred match. That's why.
Yeah, come on, it's not a Hell in a Cell, guys.
And Charles Robinson had the classic ref go flying over the edge.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Hell in a Cell, Bray brought back the hammer that he used to kill Seth.
His
he brought it back. Yeah, that was a fun little thing to have back. But ring breaks. Here comes the big dog, baby. Roman comes down before he comes down the ramp, signs the contract that's in Paul Heyman's hands that we talked about a little while ago. Comes down, tries to pin Strowman, tries to pin Fiend, doesn't happen. Throws, I don't know what he does to Fiend, I forget, but
he was getting the mandible claw and he kicks him in the nuts.
Yes, he kicked him in the nuts. That's right, I forgot about that. Mandible claw kicks Fiend in the nuts. Out goes Fiend. Spears Strowman. 1, 2, 3. New champion. But before we discuss what we feel about this one, I need to do my little PSA. I need to grab my microphone. I did this last time with the Mets. I need to grab my microphone again. To all of you internet marks out there that are saying the Fiend is ruined, the Fiend this, the Fiend lost his title after a week, AEW rules. I don't want to hear it anymore. He wasn't pinned. He lost the title. He doesn't need the title, all right? I'm done, sick of this. Roman is the hot thing. Roman's the way to go. Deal with it, shut up, and deal with it.
Well, and if Roman doesn't take him, if Roman doesn't take Braun or Bray to Dick Kick City, I mean, he probably wins. He has the mandible claw in. Yeah. So if it's a regular match, he has no way out because if he did that, he would have been disqualified.
Yeah, and that's the icing on the cake. Roman's heel. Roman is officially heel.
Oh yeah.
Like
definitely.
This time last week, we were saying it's just his character. I would take the blame for saying that it's just his persona too. But over the last 7 days, we've seen Roman Reigns turn heel in 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even the chair shots on Braun too, and everything.
Yeah, the chair shots. Yeah. But that was that. That was the main event. And he didn't have new gear. I did notice that. He was still wearing the cargo pants. He was wearing his shirt, wreck everyone and leave. So I'm still excited.
He ditched the vest though.
He did ditch the. Is he just gonna wrestle in the shirt and the pants now?
That's fine by me because honestly, I don't like the whole vest because like if he's taking chair shots, it's like shouldn't that prevent it anyway?
Yeah.
Oh well, you know why he wears the vest?
Well, because he's not ripped.
It's because he doesn't have abs. Yeah, as built as he is, he doesn't have abs. So if you don't have abs, Vince wants you covered.
Yeah.
And going back to the Fiend not needing the belt, thank God. They didn't roll out.
He doesn't need it.
But thank God they didn't roll out that ugly as hell face belt with the Fiend's face on it.
That went for like $2,000 on WWE Shop.com.
That was the most hideous custom belt I've ever seen.
I'm very happy that's gone too. It's not needed. It's just extra nonsense.
What they could have done if they really want to give him a custom belt, just give him the freaking red one. It's in storage somewhere, so they could have just used it if they really wanted to. There was no point to put his face on the fucking belt.
Firefly Funhouse uses the blue, and then Fiend uses the red. I like that. I like that a lot.
Would have been too confusing because there's the Universal belt.
Yeah, honestly, but
that's what they would have said.
That's Payback, ladies and gentlemen. It ends with Roman Reigns becoming the Universal Champion again with Paul Heyman by his side. What do you guys think overall the show?
The main event and just seeing Roman with Paul Heyman and officially going to the dark side, essentially. They can do just so many creative things. Basically what they've wanted to do with Brock and get it over with the fans because Roman will actually be there. Yeah,
Roman. Yeah, no, he'll be there. And it's just new and it's exciting. I feel like a kid again, honestly.
We very well could see one of the most dominant title runs if they do essentially Brock-style squash matches week in and week out. We could probably see one of the most dominant title runs of all time. Yeah, I off the top of my head right now, I can't picture who's going to beat Roman for this belt. There is nobody. The only young guy on SmackDown that you could potentially see them building up if it takes a while for the Big E storyline, because I don't think they'll do.
I don't think they'll have Big E go over Roman.
And honestly, a good person would be Keith Lee to beat Roman, even though
but he's on Raw. That's the thing. The only young SmackDown guy I can think of is Riddle.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If they truly wanted to run Rock Roman, this is the storyline to do.
Time.
Ooh, I just don't.
Well, especially if Rock comes back and is the baby face. And then you can get rid of that whole Rock, like, passing on to him, like, oh, here's my cousin, please clap.
Well, here's the thing. Or if they wanted to, he already took out The Undertaker, so it's his yard from The Undertaker. Rock handed the keys over to Cena. Cena could come back. Well, Rock could
Cena
come back.
already technically gave the keys to Roman at No Mercy, like, 3 years
But Cena
ago.
wants them back.
But here's the thing.
There you go.
But here's the thing. It could be Cena going for his 16th title or 17th or whatever
17th.
number it is at this point.
Yeah, 17.
Versus Roman, who's just on a tear of dominance.
Versus The Rock, who thinks Cena can't get the job done.
Oh, Vince McMahon is HRD listening to this right now.
I would pay money for that.
I really think
Rock versus Cena versus Roman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you could get a heel Roman with Paul Heyman versus The Rock at either Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, or WrestleMania, that could be one of the best matches ever.
Yeah, I just wish, I don't know if it'll happen, but if live crowds are back too, it would be
if you hold that off till Mania, they'll definitely be
Hold
back.
it off till Mania. If Rock, I just don't.
I don't know if Rock will come back. I don't know if he will.
He's been coming back, though,
I think he has one more. He has one more left in him, I think.
And this Roman
I agree
would be the guy
he does,
to
but I
take
don't
him
know
out.
if he might be too much in demand.
But I think since WWE's his first home,
But that's
he'll
the
always
thing.
make room for
If
them.
he has an appealing storyline, he'll come back. He basically
he would definitely have to work with Roman.
Well,
That's
that's
fine.
the thing. But look, think of it this way: he basically gave 3 years for the John Cena storyline.
Yeah.
If they could set this up at Rumble to Mania, that's all, and they go from there. Like, say Rock comes back at 30.
Yeah.
And they build it to Mania just in like 4 months. Fine.
Oh yeah. Rock as a surprise return at 30 and wins the Rumble would be ridiculous.
And especially if they have a Roman Brock type of run.
Yeah.
We're just dominating people. That books itself. Now is the time for it.
Now is the time for it. It's in Los Angeles too. Rock is making all the money in the world in Los Angeles right now.
I think in a few months, looking back at it, this show for the main event wise is definitely going to have a bigger impact than a lot of the more recent shows in this calendar year.
I think so too. You're right. He's going to hold that title for a long time, I have a feeling, which is fine.
I think he definitely walks into Mania with it, with not breaking up his title run. I don't think he loses it between now to Mania. I really don't.
I'm not sure. I think they're going to put the Fiend back in the title hunt again because he didn't get pinned. So
yeah, they're going to run that again.
It would make sense to do Bray and Braun and just keep Bray out of the title picture for now, at least.
Oh, hold the phone really quickly. We forgot to talk about something really, really important during this match.
Oh, the group that calls himself Retribution didn't show up?
That's something. That you just said it right there. That's one thing.
But here's the thing. We forgot about it just as much as Creative has.
That's fine. Honestly, at this point, whatever. They have to just say why they're not showing up or something. Why they couldn't show up to pay-per-view.
They beef up security for pay-per-views.
They beefed up security.
But during the main event, there was a camera backstage on Alexa Bliss in her new pigtails, looking a little crazy-ish, admiring the Fiend Bray Wyatt, it seems.
And braiding her hair.
They're going in on this. They're going in on Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss, and could that help Roman win Bray win the title back? You never know.
I hope not.
Roman has someone in his corner. Bray's gonna have someone in his corner now. It could even it out. You don't know.
You don't know where they're going.
Yeah, SmackDown's intriguing.
Going.
That's what I love about SmackDown the last month or two. It's been very intriguing from start to finish, especially the end of the shows. And Raw has been very predictable as of late. So I'm on board for SmackDown. It's been fantastic work all around. But yeah, like Jesse said, though, Retribution was nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
That's 3 pay-per-views that have now passed with no Retribution.
I just don't care. They've lost all their steam, honestly, and my interest. At this point, if it's who they were of like Dijakovic and company,
yeah,
that's not enough for me. That's just weak then.
Roman needs to be in charge of them or something.
Roman just needs to get rid of them.
If Roman was in charge of them, like we should have already done that. Yep. They should have already done that.
It's honestly a shame, but wow. All right. Well, that does it for our recap and review of WWE Payback 2020. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you liked it as well, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at @department_pod. Please just do all the above. It helps us out so much. We're trying to start our podcast here. We've been going for a couple months now. We're doing really well. Bless you, Jesse. We're doing really well, but we need your help to become a bigger brand. But we can't thank you enough for listening. We'll see you in the next show.